Hey everybody, it's me, Josh Wielgus, or you may know me as Ghillie,
And I'm Josh Carlson.
and we are here to walk you through Burncycle. This is the first video in a series of 5 that's going to take you through, a lot of the different aspects of the game. But with this first one, what we really want to do is just explain in an overview kind of what the game is all about. What are we doing here? Why is it on Kickstarter? And I think really the best place to start with that is to talk about the theme of the game. So Josh, what are we trying to do in Burncycle?
Well, we're coming at the theme in kind of a fun and unique way. We're playing this game as a squad of robots who are basically rebelling against evil corporation heads that are human-run corporations, and they're trying to sneak in and infiltrate a number of different corporations, floor by floor. So we're picking a corporation, we're going up against the CEO, and the CEO is represented by a number of different things that happen throughout your infiltration. So it almost feels like the building and the CEO are synonymous with one another. So your squad of bots are trying to break into rooms, dodge guards, and progress through 3 floors to get to the CEO to steal back some important AI code that has been stolen from them.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So we are robots. We are not humans. We are robots, and we hate humans. Everything that you see here, we should note, everything that you see here on the table is prototype in nature. So some of this stuff looks close to how it might in the final game. Some of it, like the map, in particular, the art is all going to change. This is all placeholder art.
Right.
And this is what we're kickstarting. So as we show you the game, we just want to make sure you know that the look and feel of some of this stuff is going to change a little bit.
Yep.
But here we have the Burncycle mat. So this includes a threat meter. It includes what the corporation we're infiltrating is going to do to us if the threat meter reaches certain levels. And it's got the Burncycle, which we cover in detail in a future video. This is how you sequence your actions within the game. We've got the map here, made up of several different neoprene mini mats, kind of similar to the way that we did Cloudspire.
Yep.
We've got a bevy of cards that do a whole bunch of different things that we'll talk about in a little bit. And then we've got some dice. And then, of course, right in front of us, because we are robots and we are not humans, we have our actual, literal bot mat, which represents the character that you will be playing here in the game of Burncycle.
Basically your interface, so to speak. And then don't forget all of our chips, too.
Oh, and of course, the chips and a little chip bag, too.
Yeah.
There's a lot. There's a lot going
here
on in this game, so that's what everything is doing here out on the table.
Yeah. So let's talk through some of the basic mechanics that you're going to find in this game. The first, obvious one that's really standout is the fact that you're going to be playing on a base building mat. It comes with just a bunch of carpet. It's all open. It's kind of like an open floor plan.
It's all kind of blank.
On the corporation that you're going up against, you will figure out which types of rooms that corporation has within it, and you're going to be laying those down on the mat to signify or build your floor. So the voids will create your halls, and the rooms are very specific to each floor. And yeah, you're playing it room or floor by floor. That's how you're going to play the game. So on the first floor, we're actually going to be breaking into the building. And then the goal, in addition to our objective that we have to complete before we can go to the second floor, is to get to the elevator or to a stairwell. In this particular example, there are no stairwells. It's only elevator access going up, which are the green areas there.
So we're trying to sneak up to the 3rd floor to break into the CEO's headquarters, essentially, and extract information and get a little bit of control back for our team. The 404th in the game is the name of the bots that we are playing as, and the threat level on each floor is going to start to escalate as things happen, as we unlock doors, as guards see us, as as we get caught on the network, those sorts of things. The threat level will slowly be increasing throughout the game, bringing us closer and closer to certain doom, which is what happens if the threat meter goes all the way
to 26.
Yeah. So if you let that happen in the game, you lose.
Mm-hmm.
The end.
That's really the main way you can lose the game. There's one other way, and that's if you lose your control module, which is basically a bot that's standing in not as himself, but as the carrier of the burn cycle. So that's what's allowing you to kind of break the rules that the humans have imposed upon you, and to mix up your actions that you've been designated to perform as a robot. You're now able to kind of move and weave within those and your teammates' actions and use them to very creatively to do things that you weren't necessarily intended to do. So yeah, between all of those, the threat level is basically your timer. It's keeping pace, and it's prompting you at different times, because there's two different types of things that could happen when you're traversing this threat meter. There's events that can happen once, and then there's escalation points. And those escalation points they stay there with you for the rest of the game, unless you can drop your threat below that escalation point again. But it also kind of serves as a secondary, like, okay, we've ticked off one, we triggered one escalation point. Now, where are we at in the game? We haven't even gotten past the first floor yet. We better kick it into gear, because there's only two more before that loss.
Right.
So.
There's a solid tension in the game between exploring more rooms, gaining more power for your bot, which we'll talk about. You can use that in a variety of different ways, and just going ahead and getting to the exit and trying to get up to that third floor. If you wait too long, you're going to lose the game. However, if you go too fast, your bots are probably going to be very ill-equipped to handle everything that's going to come at you on the third floor of the game. As we mentioned, you are a robot in this game. You are not a human, and everything about your robot is handled right in front of you on your bot mat. I think, Josh, it would be a good time for you to tell us everything you know about this bot mat.
Sounds good. So your bot mat is basically your interface that you're going to be doing a number of different things to differentiate your bot from everyone else. You have skills that are unique to you, but you also have opportunities to increase your power and your action dice that you'll be using throughout the game. So yeah, let's break that down a little bit. To start the game, you're going to start with 10 power. Every bot is going to get 10 power to use in a number of different ways. The first one would be just as they sit right there, that 10 power signifies a certain amount of action dice that you can roll. These are your basic action dice. Now, on the very first turn, it's a little bit different. I have to resolve these down to a set number that my bot shows. So this bot can only have 7 basic action dice available to it on its turn. So I have to spend 3 of these right out of the gates on certain things. I could spend as many as I want, but I have to at least spend 3. So I'm going to go ahead and, just for this example, spend 2 of these to upgrade one of my basic action dice to the upgraded version of it. And this bot mat is a little bit old already. There's actually a second upgrade that can be had here to your action dice. The other thing that I'm kind of interested in, or I'm contemplating, is giving myself my prime skill, which costs 3. So I'm going to go ahead and remove 3, and I'm going to spend them on this prime skill. So let's say that that's where I wanted to stop. What that means is, on my turn, I now have 5 basic action dice available to me. I have 1 upgraded action die available to me, and I have my innate and my prime skills that I've unlocked so far. But the other thing that's kind of important about this is that these also serve as your durability. So
no health chips?
No health chips.
No health chips.
Yeah. So going away from that a little bit. I know, it's sad. But what's really cool about that is it brings about a very interesting, I guess you could say, press your luck, but it's very much within your control of how much power you want to spend to upgrade your bot at any given time, leaving yourself more or less and less durable, I guess. And so that's kind of it's a fun and interesting dynamic that we're toying with in the game. and it's performing well. Like I really like that aspect so far. So
we're calling these pegs, this is your power
Yep,
within the
yep.
game, and the idea is that you're basically rerouting the power of your bot to other aspects of your bot to improve your capabilities out there on the mat, to improve your capabilities sometimes on the network, that kind of thing. So as you gain more and more power, you're able to slowly get more and more control of all the things that are available to you as a bot. So you're going to gain power as a reward for lots of different tasks within the game. And there's, like you said, there's a very cool tension in how much of it do you use to upgrade your bot, how much of it do you leave for your own durability, for safety, as guards and that kind of thing start to try to shut you down. It's a cool dynamic.
Yeah, it's also like your best and most rudimentary, basic AP dice. So like these action dice, you're going to want to be rolling a lot of them. And so the more you spend on different things, the less access you have to these basic forms of action dice.
Right, and you can upgrade them to a more powerful or a more reliable version of action dice. However, at that point, they are no longer used for your durability.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we'll be talking a lot more about how the dice in this game work, about using dice as a resource within this game, but that's a little bit about the most basic form of what's going on your bot mat. And we should also mention all the bot mats are die cut.
Yep.
Should probably show it like that. And you'll have a bot card that you will then simply place in this window. And again, the shape of these has also changed a little bit since these prototypes were sent out. So that's how we're handling the different character selection within the game. Is it's on cards and you slot them into your bot mat, which controls what all the different aspects of your mat.
It allows us to have 5 interfaces that you can play with, because you're playing with up to 4 players plus your control module, and which is basically a 5th bot. And so you have those 5 mats, but you don't have to personalize those mats because the bots themselves slip under. The neoprene holds the card in place from when you're sliding it around, so it works really well. And then the backside of these bots will have their control module version of that bot, because that will be contributing to the team differently than how a basic bot would contribute.
Yeah. So that's a little bit about how burncycle works. So, I mean, there's a lot more that we're covering in future videos. But that gives you an idea of what's going on here. You've got your bot. You've got a network that you're going to be buzzing around on. We're going to cover that in a future video. We've got this map that you're going to be traversing, trying to access things, gain more power for your bot as you work your way toward the CEO. There's dice, there's cards, there's equipment you can get for your characters, there's mods you can put on your characters, there's imperatives that might hamper you throughout the game, all sorts of stuff, and we haven't even touched on objectives and keypads. There's a ton going on. We're going to cover as much of it as we can in future videos, culminating with an actual playthrough. So we hope you are excited about Burncycle, and we have much more to share with you soon. Thanks.
Thank you.